Hey guys, welcome to another video. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about the Tesla Model Y performance, fit, and finish. So let's get right into it. The acceleration on this thing is just crazy. Whew. I'm going to have to stop that. Alright guys, well the first thing I want to say is that I am not necessarily a Tesla fanboy, so hopefully that means I can be objective about some of the things that we're going to talk about. The other, I think, more important factor about the fit and finish and the critiques on it is that my particular car is a 25,500 and change VIN number. So they've had some time to work out some of the bugs and some of the other things that the earlier production run guys had issues with. So again, this is 25,000, mid 25,000 VIN number. They had some time to correct a lot of the things that you probably have seen on YouTube about the first model runs that came out, that they had, you know, terrible fit and finish stuff, interior problems, all of the normal things. And I'm not going to make this a totally long video. I'm just going to go over some of the highlights. And spoiler alert, I'll give it to you up front. Overall, this thing is pretty good. There are some things wrong with it. So if you wanted to know though, has it gotten better? In my opinion, yes. I realize that every car is unique, and that maybe I fell into that lucky category, that small percentage, but that's normally not my luck. Normally I'm on the other end of the spectrum, which love hitting that throttle. Yeah, I gotta stop. But I definitely think that it's gotten better, you know, over time. So that being said, let's jump right into it and go over some of the most common things that people have pointed out on the Tesla Model Y. Also, guys, I want to apologize up front about the wind noise that you're going to hear when I get outside of the car, because I've been trying to make this video for a week, but it's been non-stop rain and wind and just poor conditions for videos. So I'm just trying to get it done today. I want to get this information to you guys. So again, I apologize for all the wind noise when we're outside of this car. All right, let's get started. Again, as a whole, I think this car looks really good. You know, it's turned out pretty well. But let's start with what a lot of people have complained about, that you'll see is the panel gaps, and this one specifically for the hood, or the frunk, I'm sorry. All pretty even. So not bad. And while we're up here, there were a lot of complaints about the headlights, that they were either pushed in or they were like loosely set in, they were popping out. I'm going to try to give you guys every angle so that you can see how flush it is. There's really no rise to it. The other side, you can tell that it's just slightly down, but it's still in. So I don't know if that's, I could nitpick about that, but again, overall, the front end looks pretty well put together. The other big complaint as far as panel gaps was the trunk, or the rear hatch. Let's jump to that. Alright, you can see here, normal gap, nice line all the way down. And while we're here, this is the charge port, and you can see that is pretty on point. I've seen some horrendous ones, but this is not that. Again, I'm trying to give you every angle so that you can kind of see. It follows the body line really well. So that is not an issue for me. And then down, you know, I'm trying to give you guys a guide here. Around to the other side, up. And again, the lights. All looks pretty good. And then on this side, about the same amount of gap. Maybe a little more on this side compared to the other, but really it's pretty good. It's nothing, again, that I could really complain about. I mean, if I had to nitpick, I mean, I guess I could say, you know, hey, it's not perfect. And maybe part of that is that, again, I went into this knowing that there were going to be a few issues. And I even thought I would actually reject it. You know, I was prepared for that. So, but at the end of the day, after taking a look at it, it really did not turn out to be anything like I expected. The other main thing that a lot of people were complaining about was this plastic down here and how it stuck out. Again, mid 25,000 VIN number or production run number, you can see that it is pretty flush. It fits well, and the actual wheel well plastics there all are tight, on point. Let's move to the front. And again, no gap, no nothing along there. It's really matching up like it should. And again, the bottoms here, the corners, they're flush. They're not poking out or anything. I know I've seen a lot of them where they did stick out, and that did look terrible. I'll jump to the other side. Now we're on the other side, the passenger side, and same thing. I mean, the body really, you know, meets up with this plastic very well. Again, the bottom, nothing sticking out, normal kind of joining there. Moving on to the back side, where again, there were so many people having this issue where this thing was just sticking out really far. But as you can see, I'm trying to give you again that angle where this particular vehicle is not having that issue. So, and again, these lines, whether they could be closer or not, to me, it really isn't the issue. It's that if this one was so much wider or was different than the other side, well, that might be a thing. But it seems to be pretty even. So that part is pretty good. Alright guys, now let's talk about alignment. Door alignment and how the front door matches to the back door to the rear. As you can see, that's not bad. And again, the rear, pretty good. And then that crease, that body line, you can see that it just looks a hair, but again, being nitpicky, I guess I can have them just drop that, I would say, the driver door just down just a hair. But overall, you know, it's nothing that I would reject the car for. You know, I may have them adjust it, but it doesn't look hideous. Moving around to the other side. And I think this door is actually better. This side, where I'll slowly pan down. And you guys can see that body line fits pretty well. The bottom one as well. So I'm not sure if I just got lucky or I don't know what the deal was. But as a whole, this car looks pretty good. you know, in my opinion. You guys will have to let me know if this is something that you would accept or you would have sent this back. Now let's move on to the interior. Alright, one of the biggest complaints from the early production runs was that the seats were misaligned. And they were misaligned pretty bad. If you hadn't seen some of those videos, basically this section was so much lower than that section. Now you can see that it still is, but it's not terrible. I think they said there's a fix for that, but I keep meaning to schedule a service call for that, but I haven't. So that goes to show you, I just don't look in the back seat all that much for it to bother me that much, but I'm sure I will. I'm sure I'll try to have them even that out. But really, that's not too bad. Alright, let's move on to the other little part. So another big complaint is these plastic basically panels and how they matched up to each other and how they were coming apart. I don't really have that issue. This one could be in a little tighter, but really it's not rattling or moving all that much. But this is matched up very well, and so is the bottom. And that's really consistent with all four doors. So I'm not going to bore you with that. That portion is fine. Alright guys, now we're on the inside of the vehicle. Now I will show you something that is kind of funny, and I'm surprised that Tesla hasn't fixed yet. And that would be this. The overhead lights, and I guess there's maybe the speakers in here for the Bluetooth, but the hazard. But I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, it's like 1/8 of an inch out, and you can see that it moves. And that's, I guess, a normal thing for Tesla, and they just have not figured it out. So it kind of makes me laugh, because it's like, really, of all things to have issues with, this one? Yeah, I don't know if glue would just take care of that, but again, that is a common thing. But now as far as the hooks, I know that's another common thing. Coat hooks on either side. Those have been fine for me, so lucky there. But yeah, it's kind of just, like I said, it's got like 1/8 of an inch of play. And you can see a little gap there. Here it's tight, but then there's a little gap here where it's coming down. So, alright, and another funny thing, and I think this one's just unique to me, is, let me jump to it. It's on the driver's side. Alright, and what I was saying about is unique to me is that this little, I guess, basically hose that covers the electronics that come through for the door and all that has popped off. I've tried to get it back onto the little plastic housing here, but obviously it's being difficult. So, but yeah, that popped off, and all these things I will schedule up a service call for. One, I just want to see how the service is, and two, what that experience is like. But yeah, as a whole, those are the things that I'm dealing with. Alright, now the last issue that is common that everybody talks about is paint quality. I obviously went with the white because I love this color. I love the pearl white and the way it looks against the blacked out trim and the wheels. But again, this color is not for everyone. But I think it hides a lot, so that's probably some of it too, is that it does hide quite a bit of imperfections, which makes it pretty, makes it look pretty clean, you know, I'll admit. If this was a different color, maybe some of the imperfections would stand out a little more. Overall, there are just a couple pointed out right here, little imperfections in the paint. I didn't really get this thing with a lot of nicks or dings in it, but there were just a few little places where the paint was just not perfect. Now, as I get to the bumper, I don't think you can tell on camera, but, and this again, this is another main complaint, where people have said that the bumper does not necessarily match the rest of the car. And what I mean by the bumper is this to this, this to this, this to that. That is a known issue. And truthfully, to the naked eye, you can kind of see in certain lights how it's a little more yellow than the rest of the car, but you'd really have to be looking for it. I mean, you have to be like a Tesla person and know that that's something that you're looking at and trying to figure out if it matched any better. But honestly, it's close, but there is a difference. So if that's something that's going to bother you, know that that's still a thing. But like I said, for me, friends and family, they have not noticed the color difference at all. And again, when it's bright and sunny, nobody really can even tell. And nobody's even mentioned it. You know, so I always wait for people to say, give me their opinion, tell me what they think, and point out some flaws. But that has never been one that they've ever noticed. And overall, guys, if you're thinking about a Model Y, I gotta tell you, I think the difference between the performance and the regular ones is gonna be the stance. If you get a Model Y that isn't a performance, I definitely believe that you should lower it. I think it makes a big difference on this particular vehicle. I think it makes it look so much more aggressive. The other part is bigger wheels. This fills up the wheel well so much better. I've seen some with the smaller wheels, and I gotta tell you, it goes from looking sporty to definitely looking like a more of a SUV grocery getter kind of car. So that's just my opinion. There again, I mean, if I could have wider tires on this, I would, which I probably will do someday, as well as make it lower, because we will probably autocross this at some point. So if you're interested in that, please stay tuned for that kind of stuff. Also, I got a Dragy in the mail today. So we're gonna test out the 0 to 60 quarter mile times of this thing versus the M4 and a couple of the other cars, just to see, you know, again, you see me laughing every time I punch the throttle on this thing. If you get a chance to experience it, guys, do it. Get in one of these Model 3, Model S, Model Y, and do a quick little 0 to 60 run. It's gonna make you laugh every time. I'm telling you, just experience it. So, again, overall, my personal experience with this car has been pretty good. You know, I can't really complain about the fit and finish. There are small issues, but it's nothing that's gonna make me decline the car on that first day. So I think it's gotten a lot better, and I think truthfully they're just gonna get better. So at any rate, that's about it for this one. Guys, let me know what you think, and like I said, we're gonna start doing some performance tests on it. And again, I'm sorry for the wind. It's crazy out here. There hasn't been a calm day in the last 2 weeks. So, oh, I forgot to tell you, if there's something I missed, let me know. I will make a video about it, or I'll answer you directly. But yeah, overall, and as always, please, you know, go to your car meets and enjoy what you have and have fun with your mods. Thank you, guys. See you on the next one. I'm gonna stay out of the throttle this time. Maybe not. And we're off. This thing is stupid. Who needs that? I guess I do. It just never gets old. Never. Oh my gosh. It's just